The one-time epicenter reporting more than 21,000 cases in a single day, the highest since the pandemic began. Once again, massive lines for testing. The Rockettes canceling their Christmas spectacular. The NFL postponing games. Nationwide cases, hospitalizations, deaths, all rising. The White House's stark warnings say the unvaccinated face a winter of severe illness and death. And news from Pfizer, how it could set back the timeline for vaccinating young children. Also tonight, former police officer Kim Potter breaking down in tears, testifying in her own defense, telling the jury she mistook her gun for her taser when she fatally shot Dante Rice. Why, she said, she's sorry on the stand. The toughest sentence yet in the Capitol riot, how long the man who attacked police with a fire extinguisher will spend behind bars. Schools on edge nationwide over threats of violence on TikTok, what authorities are saying and how officials are taking action. Tiger Woods returning to competitive golf less than 10 months after his crash with his son by his side. And the brave 4-year-old girl traveling halfway across the world, her life-saving journey to the U.S. This is NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt. Good evening. The last thing any of us want is to revisit 2020. That was one rough road. But the comparisons are inescapable tonight in pockets of this country. COVID sidelining more and more people as it did last December when vaccinations were just beginning. New York City with over 10,000 new cases reported today. In several major cities, there are long lines for testing. Facing outbreaks of their own, businesses in some places are closing their doors, major sporting events postponed, classrooms closed, and the unvaccinated being warned in no uncertain terms these are dangerous days ahead, especially as the highly contagious Omicron variant multiplies. Tonight's urgent calls for the vaccinated to get booster shots. So far, some 58 million boosters administered to just over a quarter of those fully vaccinated. Our team is in place to cover it all, starting with Miguel Almaguer.
Well before our nation has even reached what's predicted to be the depths of this year's deadly winter surge, businesses, venues, and schools are shuttering in pockets of the country. Today, New York State recording its single-day record for new infections during the pandemic, though hospitalizations are down by more than half. Still, a week before Christmas, the Rockettes are canceling the rest of this season's shows. Today, the NFL and NHL postponing some games after a cluster of outbreaks. Parts of Broadway are dark, and as restaurants and classrooms clear out, long lines for COVID testing are back. With our past resembling our future, the 91 million Americans who are not inoculated are accelerating the pandemic.
For the unvaccinated, you're looking at a winter of severe illness and death. For yourselves, your families, and the hospitals you may seem overwhelmed.
Vaccinations will protect most from serious illness, but today the COVID task force emphasized the critical need for boosters. As Omicron evades some layers of protection, scientists are worried about what will evolve next.
We are concerned that we are one or two mutations away from not having effective vaccines or monoclonal antibody therapy.
With many hospitals already on the brink, Ohio's governor is sending in the National Guard to help. The pandemic also taking a toll on nurses, with a new study showing 1 in 5 plan to...
Resilience is low. Please get vaccinated.
I think we're looking at a potential wave of cases that's so large that we still, overwhelm our hospitals.
There's some danger ahead.
I think there is.
Bracing for a winter wave expected to rival last year's, every day, 1,300 Americans lose their lives.
All of these rooms are full.
All of these rooms are full of intubated COVID patients.
To see the grim reality, look no further than Farmington, New Mexico. 2 weeks ago, we saw their ICUs were full. Today, local funeral homes tell us they're now running out of room to hold the dead.
Miguel, there are a lot of headlines here tonight. Pfizer announcing a delay for vaccine trials for children under 5. What can you tell us about that?
Well, that's right, Lester. Pfizer says they're testing a third dose of their vaccine in an ongoing trial of kids under 5 after the company found 2 doses didn't generate a strong enough immune response. Pfizer likely won't have enough data to submit to the FDA for approval until the first half of 2022 now. Lester?
All right, Miguel Almaguer, thank you. All of this causing anxiety among families across the country as they try to make final holiday plans just 8 days now before Christmas. But at this point, few seem to be changing course. Stephanie Goss has that part of the story.
At airports, travelers are taking to the skies. Some worried about the latest surge.
I'm very concerned about it because the flights are full, inside the lobby is full, on planes are full.
While others are unfazed.
I already got vaccinated, not really worried about it.
So far, there is no sign that the rising cases have impacted people's decision to travel. AAA estimates airlines are seeing nearly 3 times the number of passengers compared to last year. And it projects 100 million people will travel 50 miles or more over the holidays, driving or flying. With all these people on the move, health officials are banging a familiar drum.
Get vaccinated. If you're eligible for a boost, get boosted.
For those who are, here's some advice. Are small gatherings okay?
You can get together with your relatives over the holidays. Adding rapid tests will make that even safer.
What about indoor dining at restaurants? That's a bit murky.
Everything we're going to be doing involves individuals with tolerance, and some people may decide certain exposures just aren't worth it.
And what could unvaccinated people do?
People are going to have to continue to use masks and tests and other measures.
And most importantly, she says, reconsider getting vaccinated. With people are waiting in line for a COVID test, that's probably been waiting for a while. The other option is buying a test that you can take at home at a pharmacy, but scoop them up if you can find them because they are going fast. Lester?
Yes, that was really familiar. Thank you. In Minneapolis, wrenching testimony today by the former police officer who shot and killed Dante Wright at her manslaughter trial. Kimberly Potter described the moments leading up to the shooting. Ron Allen is there.
We were trying to keep him from driving away. It's just fun.
Chaotic. Former officer Kimberly Potter testifying in her own defense about the traffic stop that led to her shooting and killing Dante Wright.
I remember yelling, taser, 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 and nothing happened. And then he told me I shot him.
Potter said she thought her gun was her taser, and that while police had stopped Wright for an illegal air freshener and expired license plates, they tried to arrest him when a records check revealed an outstanding arrest warrant for a case involving a weapon. Potter testifying she feared for the safety of another officer on the passenger side, partially inside the car. The Wright drove off and dragged him.
He said with the fear in his face. It's something I've seen before.
Defense attorneys trying to convince the jury Potter made an innocent mistake. Not even so, her use of deadly force was justified. Under cross-examination, prosecutors highlighted Potter's 26 years of experience and training, the differences between a gun and a taser, trying to convince the jury she was reckless and had no reason to use either weapon.
You didn't plan to use deadly force that day, did you? No! You didn't want to use deadly force, did you? The objection is overruled. No, no. Because you knew that deadly force was unreasonable and unwarranted in this circumstance. I didn't want to hurt anybody.
And Ron, now that both sides have rested, when would the jury get the fix?
Monday, we expect closing arguments, Lester, and for the jury to get the case later that day. Potter faces up to 15 years in prison if convicted of a most serious charge of his first-degree manslaughter.
Ron Allen for us tonight. Thank you. This evening, the longest sentence yet for one of the rioters of the U.S. Capitol attack. Robert Palmer of Largo, Florida, was sentenced to more than 5 years in federal prison. He pleaded guilty to assaulting police officers with a dangerous weapon for throwing a long pole, a wooden plank, and a fire extinguisher twice at police. A lot of families were on edge today, and some school districts closed after talk of anonymous threats of school shootings circulated on the social media site TikTok. Gotti Schwartz has that story.
For schools across the country, a day of heightened alert or canceled classes after posts about vague threats and unsubstantiated rumors of the December 17th attack on schools went viral on TikTok. Local law enforcement agencies and the FBI saying the threats did not seem credible, when TikTok saying it had found no content promoting violence in schools on Friday, but was finding videos discussing this rumor and warning others to stay safe. At least some districts today canceling classes in more than a dozen states, citing an abundance of caution and multiple safety concerns. Do you think this is a double-edged sword? You want to be safe when you shut down schools, but on the other hand, you may be giving more credence to something that wasn't true to begin with?
I do. I worry that by shutting down schools and sending out all these emails, we're giving attention to bad behavior that maybe wasn't a threat to begin with.
In Michigan, some districts not taking chances after a student opened fire on his classmates, killing 4 and injuring 11 others last month. In Florida this morning, police arrested a teen with a loaded firearm in his bag at Miramar High School, so it's not yet known if there's any connection to the online threat. Earlier this year, some students shared an online challenge to destroy school property. Experts worry about a larger trend emerging.
What worries me about this particular situation is that we have schools shutting down across the United States today, right? So unfortunately, what we see then is that there's power in spreading misinformation.
Viral posts on social media spiraling into mass fear and real-world destruction. Gotti Schwartz, ABC News.
In just 60 seconds, rebuilding after a destructive tornado, how one town's new approach could be a model for America. And a remarkable comeback, Tiger Woods back on course.
Trilogy for COPD.
Power to treat COPD in as many ways as Trilogy. The death toll rose again today in Kentucky. And as hard-hit communities begin to recover, we take you to one Kansas town that rebuilt in an